everybody, and welcome to Fate of Isen Book 2, Pukapukarua. We are a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast made by a bunch of Kiwi comedians, proud members of Kiwi RPG, Kiamu Whakatau ao Aotearoa, tabletop role-playing from New Zealand. We korero paki, we tell some jokes, hopefully save the world, and have a whole lot of fun along the way. Thank you for joining us today. If it is your first time dropping by visiting Isen, you are so welcome. Hello, and we can't wait to have you on our journey. And for all of our Fadies who are coming back home again, hey, it's great to see you again. Wow, we were just at a library and now we're here. So very exciting. I have got an amazing story to tell with you today, and I do have not just a full cast of players to tell it with, but a full cast and some today. So without any further ado, let me get the Sidebars to introduce himself with our special guest going right at the end. All right, Sidebars, take it away.
Hello. It's me, Jules Daniel. I am playing your cheeky little bard today, Bardley. Kind of a Brad, but not as much as another Brad. Ooh. Passing it on to you, Severin.
Oh, kia ora, everybody. Hello. I am Severin Gourley. I'm playing the punchy monk Dexter Clementine, and I'm looking forward to checking into some nice air D&D. Passing it over to you, Erika.
Hi, I'm Erika. I'm hiding as Taryn Grimm with some wonderful art by Amy Ward art on screen, and I'm excited to potentially be leaving the ocean again. Over to you, Kasia.
Hi there, it's Kasia here from the den of I don't know. Anyway, I'm back. Granny Sabinka, the half-elf druid, reliving her youth and her not youth. Over to you, Brad.
Hey, it's me, Abradio. I am a guest. Hello.
Hey, Brad, it's Brad Zimmerman, creator of Fate of Isen Book 1, Jules' shoulder to cry on when Book 2 is going terribly, and also the creator of D12 Go, and also a real-life author in the Book 2 world of Fate of Isen, apparently. Like, that happened. We found Brad Zimmerman in the library, which is pretty exciting. All right, so you're going to be playing a character. We're gonna meet your character very soon. I'm excited to meet who you're bringing to the table. A brand new NPC, but PC also. So I'm excited to see that happen. So where do we meet our Sidebars at the moment? Well, our Sidebars have left the library, left the ocean indeed, and are currently on a small island in the middle of the sea, waving goodbye as Sankrere, Captain Rere, and Seven sinking into the ocean once more, sort of, you know, all of Seven's octopus legs vaguely waving at you in a goodbye as they sink back into the ocean after dropping you off. I'll never forget you. Yeah. You have come to this piece of the ocean on the promise that there would be this mysterious owner of this flywag who apparently is sort of some sort of supplier runner. You're not really sure what the deal is, but you do remember seeing advertising for this very same flywag once before on a notice board in Lakeside Tavern, promising that it could do romantic sunset rides and that it was 100% safe 50% of the time. So it's going to be like, how are our players, how are our Sidebars feeling about what lies ahead before they even turn to look at what this machine person is? How are you feeling about what's happened down in the ocean, what you're about to do? What's going on?
So Dexter's always very connected to the earth, to the soil, and we had a big adventure in the water, which was at least below where soil was, and there was still like an ocean floor, and he was kind of happy about that. He is now very unhappy that we are leaving any semblance of a floor and going directly up into the air. So I think he's kind of pouting like a teenager on a long car trip. Just kind of shoulders slumped to the back like, meh.
Nice. Sort of trailing the rest of them.
This sounds dumb. Why are we going here again?
Pipe up and answer that question, or yeah.
I'm scare-sighted. That's my contribution. That's scared and excited at the same time. Something about going skyward has some sort of affinity with my character for some reason.
Weird.
It's so weird. There's no relation at all. But I hear there are some pretty notes up there. Who's to say?
That is
My
true.
granny's excited. Okay, last time we were flying off a cliff. It was exhilarating. It was amazing. We should probably cast Featherfall on each other. However, it was so cool, and just hanging out with other cool grannies just made me think about how I just need to be so cool so I can hang out with them again. And also, it's a quest, and it's a next step in a quest, and we've done some good stuff. So far, I'm like hyping everyone up, being like, yes, finally, like, yeah, this is our hero journey. Yeah, and it's creepy. And
What's the new
Overhyped.
knitted item that Granny has, by the way? Because you spent most of this reading circle, like, drinking wine and knitting and talking about books and reading books. So, like, what's the new knitted item that Granny has?
The new knitted item is a sweater that depicts the great fall from the cliff. And
Nice.
So there's like a
Solid.
figures. Yeah, and they're flying. They have wings. They like super like there's like shiny weapons. It's super.
Exactly
Can
how
you
it
see
happened.
Can you see
Super
the
iconic.
tea trolley, like, falling from the top, chasing
Yes,
them?
the trolley is there, and the trolley is actually like if
Kind
a
of more of a
trolley could be sexy. That's how it would be depicted on this knitted piece of.
I'm
Yes,
just glad it's
this-
not when the trolley hits Taryn. I'm glad that's not the the scene you've knitted.
The sexy
on the
trolley
scarf.
problem.
Yeah.
Can I just say I misheard that at the
Speak-
start, and I thought Granny said we were going to go see her ex up in the sky. So
I mean,
Honestly,
sure,
who knows?
some
I mean-
of them have died.
Yeah. I mean, from what we understand about Granny is there could be a few, maybe. I don't know. Granny got up to some stuff before we
Yeah,
met
and then
her,
got
so-
married and ruined it
Yeah.
all. But you know,
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, Taryn, speaking of not wanting to be depicted being hit by a trolley, what is Taryn feeling about this?
I think
Potential
Taryn's
trip?
taking Granny's hype and is sort of like building up upon it to actually be leaving the ocean again.
Okay.
I found some people that are worth traveling with for a bit.
Nice. Nice.
I feel no.
And taking this kind of scare-sided, slightly hyped, a little bit sulky kind of vibe, you turn to look at the wagon that is waiting to take you to the sky. Brad, would you like to tell us about what they see as they turn around?
Yep, they see a flywag, a flying wagon, or airship, as some laymen would call it in a different world, but not this world. It's small. It looks like it's not really meant for passengers. Like it looks very much like a courier delivery kind of wagon, but and it looks like it was once a magnificent small ship, but that was probably about 100 years ago. It's in pretty tattered disrepair, like bits sort of hanging loose that you don't know much about flywags, but you even at a glance you'd think that shouldn't be loose. And leaning up against it very proudly is a goblin in in like a flight suit with goggles on his head, with a huge goblin grin, just beckoning you all over to come be a part of his story, be a part of his adventure.
Oh no, the flywag's been built by Boeing. We're not gonna make it.
bow
Eh.
wing.
Yeah, so you see this
Oh, wagon.
goblin waiting at this fly wagon. What do you guys do? Like, he's clearly waiting for you to arrive, knew that you were coming, you guys knew that you were meeting this person, but you didn't really know much else.
yeah, Bardley sees no problems with this.
We gonna hit the skies or what? Come on over here, guys. Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
I jump aboard. I run. I'm ready.
Oh,
I shake his hand.
take it easy. Take it
Oh.
easy.
Oh, sorry.
Bessie and I have been through a lot together, and I do not
Bessie.
want visitors just treating her so rough. It's not on.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
You named the
I
airship
respectfully
Bessie?
bored Bessie.
I didn't name her Bessie. She named herself Bessie. She's a Bessie. And he's just rubbing like a nondescript part of the hull.
One that's still together.
So where you headed? Skyward, I guess.
Can we have that featherfall real quick? Just
Oh, we'll be
quick.
fine. If we
How long
fall,
is for the
there'll be
fall?
time.
How long
Yeah,
does
feather
this
fall
last?
doesn't.
Like
It
10
doesn't
minutes?
last. Yeah, it doesn't last that long. So maybe I'll wait till we're falling. Just when
No, it's like
we
a-
fall, inevitably.
Excuse me?
I think it is a reaction. Wow.
Captain.
Granny's enthusiasm
No,
lessons.
I mean, like
I just mean in
when-
general. Whenever.
Yeah, when we fall in life, it's like metaphorically.
In love.
When we're when we fall in love
I
with
start
Bessie.
strumming a little love tune.
Oh, good. A little bit of music. Tell you what,
Yeah.
I'll introduce myself. My name is Jaunty Tune, and that, what you're playing for me right now, is a pretty jaunty tune.
Oh
Thanks
my
for
god,
that.
what a coincidence.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. This is your jaunty tune.
Right, so you've earned your place.
Thank you.
You've just earned your place on old Bessie. What about the rest of you? Got the lovely young lady here. He glances
thank
at Granny. Says, and the blue lady. Never seen anything like you, but you're pretty cool. What can you offer? Everyone's got to earn their ride.
I don't know. I can tell you stories about the ocean and salute you like the captain that you are of this fine Bessie.
Oh, I tell you what, flattery will get you everywhere, including the sky. And you, Robe Boy.
I've got a name. Oh no, wait, you don't know it yet. Hi, I'm Dexter, otherwise known as Rogue Boy.
All right, Dexter, Robe Boy, what can you offer to earn your place on Bessie?
If there's a bit of the airship that looks like it's kind of sticking out and shouldn't be, can Dexter do a spin kick and try to knock it back into place?
Yes.
Awesome. Would you like me to roll anything, or is this just
Yeah.
like a fritter?
Let's roll an attack, and if it's over 15, then you also kind of damage the ship a little bit. Like,
I do too well?
yeah.
Okay, I will unarmed strike and see what I get. Oh, dear lordy, that's a 23. Rest in peace, Bessie. It's been fun. It's been cool.
So essentially, you like knock this piece back in, but you like kind of knock it in so hard that you make an indent. So there's now like a bowed piece to the hull.
Take
Can
it
I just
easy. I was just trying to offer you a ride.
Can I cast Mage Hand to just push it back into the correct place so it doesn't look like it?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
You
sir,
just-
I'm not aware of my own strength.
You might need to have that feather fall handy after all.
It's this really awkward. Just a kind of screeching noise as you pull it back out again.
You gotta,
Thank you, Taryn.
you got to forgive this young man. He's just very afraid to fly. You know, just nervous flyer.
Dexter's gonna see another piece sticking out and then go to spin kick it again. Unless anyone stops him.
I think with the Mage Hand, I'm just gonna like slap your cheek.
Yeah, I'll do similar
Oh.
things with real hand.
Oh.
Here, Dexter.
I'm
dear,
just still strumming away.
Do a bit of Foley
Stop
work. It's
destroying
like
the flight machine.
Yeah. So eventually you all board in this kind of haphazard, chaotic fashion, and Jaunty takes off to the sky with sort of a slightly disturbingly shuddering kind of action motion as it sort of jaunts into the sky. But once it's up there, it's actually a surprisingly smooth ride. Jaunty is an expert at maneuvering this thing through the sky and through the different air currents and things like that. So it's a, pretty easy, nice ride for a moment. So you've got a moment to talk about amongst yourselves about what it's like up here, or
Among Us.
as you travel.
Sus. How cramped in to the bus?
Yeah, how small is the fly wag?
It'll fit like Jaunty in the pilot's seat, and then you four are sitting in the space reserved for like the equivalent of 2 people. And you're
Taryn's
sharing it
probably
with,
already-
lap.
and
Oh no,
you're sharing
Taryn's
it with a
over the
small box
banister,
as well.
already throwing up. Just because it's a different momentum to the ocean, and I also rolled a 6 on a con save, just as a...
I like that. I hadn't even asked for it, but sure. Okay.
already...
He looks back
Yeah,
over his shoulder.
motion
Make sure you
sickness.
do that over the side.
Nope, that's already over the side.
It's all over
You
the
do look
side
back.
of the wag.
Behind where you are, and there's sort of like netting, strapping, holding in a whole lot of boxes and sacks and bits and pieces. So, like, clearly this is full to the gunnels with supplies of some kind. It looks pretty haphazardly organized, but clearly Jaunty has some sort of organization system for who goes where and what's happening. So, yeah.
Hey, Jaunty, what's in the boxes?
None yet.
Oh. I
Oh,
feel
I
like
want
this might be a
that
trap,
one.
but I must ask what this Nanya means.
None of your business. Actually,
Oh.
I'm a bit of a smuggler. Don't mind telling anybody about it, though. Just hitting up the sky, get some things up there that they don't have, make a bit of coin.
I see, it's
yeah.
smuggler business.
Wait, what
So-
what things aren't they allowed in the sky?
Well, it's more stuff that they don't have and that aren't considered normal there. So they make them seem a little bit like contraband. So I've got some wubble flowers. Ever seen a wubble flower? They love them up there.
Have you
No,
seen a
no.
wobble? We went
What's
through a
a
flower
wobble?
arc earlier.
Could I have read about it in the library?
You're using
I
wobble?
roll for intelligence on wobbles.
I would
No.
like to roll nature
Tell
on
us,
the
tell
wobble
us what
flower.
wobble is,
Alright.
please.
Roll a nature check.
17 for nature.
15.
Apparently, you've definitely seen these before, but Jules hasn't. So, Brad, what are
It's something I made up literally now.
Of course.
It's just a really nice pink flower. That's all it is. And they don't grow in the sky because it's the sky.
That is contraband. It's useless. And you're marking up the prices. Great.
Can it be used for anything?
Looks pretty in
Taryn
a
says
vase.
weakly.
You know, I don't really
Does it
ask.
have healing properties?
It might do. I don't ask. Once I deliver it, none of my business.
I
got
need
the-
this one.
Who got the 17? We'll say that you know that they grow usually in lower climates, like kind of at the bottom of like mountains or cliffs, or you know, like lower. You wouldn't see them up a mountain, for instance. So
Gotcha.
Possibly
so
they
low
just
altitude
don't-
plants.
they just
Yes.
don't grow that high.
For the
Yeah.
audience at home, I put my hand up to say I got the 17. So Dexter knows that they are low-growing flowers. And he's going to file that information away to see if it's useful. But he's also going to say, oh, I used to be a smuggler. It's an interesting line of work to get into. How did you first become a smuggler? Did you choose the smug life, or did the smug life choose you?
He puts out 2 fists and he's got smug life.
Smug life?
tattooed on him.
Incredible.
And it's at this point that suddenly there is a noise on the outside of the hull. And Taryn, you sort of half hanging out the banister rail on the side of the flywag there, you feel something hit your skin and start to like sizzle a little bit, and you sort of brush it off. And then there's just like little pink kind of noises
Ouch.
on the outside of the hull.
Hey, Jaunty?
Yeah, mate.
Captain Goblin. Does it normally hurt in the sky?
Whoa.
First time.
Captain Goblin feels racially charged.
In my experience, it hurts when you hit the ground, but
That was going to be my response too.
oh, I'm sorry, Jaunty. It's just I'm so old that I've heard all the jokes.
Yeah. Pink.
But no, to answer your question seriously, that's not normal.
Yeah, it's my skin is it's almost like it's itchy or like really hot, but localized, like it's raining or
Yeah, and it
Like it's
starts
raining
with that
fire.
little
Yeah.
pink, noise starts to kind of happen more. And like Jaunty, you've got this big like glass, window that's out the front that you use to, keep the bugs off you and stuff while you're flying, obviously, to make sure that, you can see but aren't getting hit in the face with all the wind and weather and all of that. And now you see like there's like a couple of dots that hit the window and sort of sizzle a little bit, like dribble and then sort of sizzle just a little as they kind of roll down.
Yeah.
that was my thought. Apart from ouch.
Sorry, everyone. Seems we've hit some kind of anomaly, I guess. We might need to detour a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And it starts getting harder, more like you see more drops, a lot more drops suddenly. And like as you're trying to find some kind of way out of this, because you're not really sure where it exactly is coming from. It's not like there's a dark cloud above you that you can deliberately get out of the way of or anything like that. We're going to do a quick skills challenge to get out of this crazy, whatever this is, rain. Yeah,
I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah, so you find yourself in this flywag. There are things available to you in this flywag if you kind of come up with a piece of normal equipment. It probably exists in here. Jaunty has a whole lot of stuff in chests and sacks and stuff. There might be something weird and unusual in there. What are you going to do to combat or get yourself out of this situation? Who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay, Granny.
Granny's gonna look around for some sort of oiled cloth to put over everyone, so we don't get like something that doesn't seem to be sizzling.
Yeah, because you can,
touching.
you've got the hull over the top of you, but yeah, so it's sort of like falling on the hull now, and you can sort of smell like something not great as it's sizzling and burning almost the metal.
The metal.
Yeah, because this whole thing's made of metal. It's like a big old steampunk crazy wagon in the sky.
Yeah, just something to cover us. That looks like it's
so you
not
kind of wrap
catching
everybody in like cloth over the top of their head. Cool.
Yeah, just like whatever you can find that is not affected by the thing. Or
okay. So roll me a
protecting.
nature check as you're like testing fabrics against. We'll call that.
So that's quite difficult. I have rolled a 21.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So you managed to find like a fabric which doesn't seem to be as affected as much. It's like all kind of sticky and slimy, and the stuff seems to roll off it a little bit more. So you kind of call out with that. You start kind of putting that places.
Come to Granny, everyone! And I cast it upon everybody.
Yeah, you can smell this burning. Jaunty, you can now see like little holes forming in the front of your, like tiny little pinprick holes forming in the glass as it's burning through.
Bessie!
Yeah.
Would we be able to like land? Is that a possibility, or would it be like a thing?
You're in the sky, probably too like far away from traditional land as such to just pull down. You could try and find somewhere untraditional to land, but you might need to know a bit more about that. I mean, you've never been in the sky before. Or you can just try and look around for something.
I could put my hut on top of us to protect us, but that doesn't work if we're moving, because I imagine it would just get left behind.
Does it depend on what you're casting the hut on? I think if you cast the hut on, but you're not going to.
It would be up to your discretion, I think.
Yeah, I think you could cast the hut inside.
It remains stationary for the duration. Oh, inside the thing.
Yeah, so you could cast it on the floor of the flywag, and that would count.
It's not exactly a skills check, though. That's a spell.
Yeah, we could call it an arcana to see if you can make the magic work in this space with the conditions, with the movement. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll do that.
You guys are looking for a 15, by the way. DC 15 is your skills check.
Okay, D&D Beyond, don't give me a 15. Sided dice.
Sadness? Okay, so you're concentrating on where to, like, put this, and you're thinking small, and it's quite big, and I need to be really precise about where I'm putting it, and you cast it just underneath the floor of the flywag, and so you see it pop into existence as you fly past it.
Wait.
Like, damn it.
Wait, I hadn't rolled. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you said not getting a 15. Sorry.
No, I said I can't. I didn't have a dice that it was 15. Oh, are we doing, or is it 20-sided dice and I've just misunderstood things?
Yes.
It's a DC 15.
Normal arcana skill check.
Okay, I got very confused. That's okay, it's under 15. All of that happened.
Okay, cool. So that happened.
Canon.
The magic of post. Brad fixes it, even though he's here. He's shaking his head. All right, who does next? So we've got some cloth happening, a hut that just goes flying away behind you and is stationary now in the middle of the air.
Yeah. Is Jaunty part of the skills challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is going to freak out over the damage that's happening to Bessie.
Roll the freak out.
And he's going to stand up in his pilot's seat and lean over the windshield and try and pour water on the hood to wash off whatever is causing these holes.
Okay, so we're going to call this maybe like an acrobatics as you're like leaning out over the front of everything, trying to hang on with the wind rushing at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good thing he's got a +9 to acrobatics.
Nice.
22.
22, nice. That is a success.
I don't know about you.
As you manage to wash off some of the water. You see the water actually does stop this thing from sizzling against the hull. So as long as you can keep water going, it doesn't really get a purchase enough to damage. It's still coming down, and you're still in it, but that is helping.
Is my sweet Dex by able to do a cheeky perception check to see if there's a place where the drops are lesser than they currently
Yeah, sure.
are. If there's a break in the
Yeah,
in the
you're
weather.
looking for somewhere to basically tell Jaunty to stare. Yeah.
So I got a natural 1 to do that.
Okay, so not only does
Nice,
it fail,
nice.
but you do need to roll me that d6 to see what happens inside
Chaos in
the
the
ship.
sky.
Yep. We promised chaos this episode. Rua.
Okay. Apparently you feel very inclined to hum, and you're really, really hungry. And for some reason you keep thinking that cheese would really would fix that hunger urge, but it's not like a compulsion to eat cheese. It's just like cheese would be good right now. And you just kind of hum it
How is
to
that normal
yourself.
how is that different from normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
just
just feel like that all the time.
Yeah,
Here,
you're
the
just
spicy
so
Ramus and cheese.
you're so distracted by that thought, like that you just kind of forget to look out for what you were doing before. You're just like humming and thinking about cheese.
Dexter really wants to focus, but he's like,
Me when
Stilton.
That is the weak version of having to immediately come up with a song about cheese. So you're welcome.
Ah. Wensleydale.
All right.
I can't relieve it.
Stop.
All right.
You cheddar. Get ahead of
Who have we got?
the competition.
Who hasn't acted yet?
That'd be me, I think. Jaunty, do you have anything that makes the ship go faster? Secondary propulsion?
Fewer
Maximum
passengers.
overdrive.
Like fewer passengers. Yeah, I mean that's accurate.
Yeah, true.
Actually, yes,
I
yes, I
cast
did whip.
Featherfall and jump.
Hold on to a rope.
I did whip up something that it's untested, but if you reach behind you, there should be a pull cord, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. I go and have a look for the pull cord.
You do. You see a cord which has got like a childish scribble which says pull. Some of the letters are capitalized, some aren't.
And does it remove everybody from the ship? Is that the
You have
plan?
no idea. Like Jaunty is offering nothing else and is busy like hanging on to the front of the windscreen and pouring water and going busy and freaking out. So.
Taryn trusts the captain who she just met not long ago and pulls the cord.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to call that persuasion roll. And what that is persuading the DM to be nice to you about a random pull cord.
Oof, is it with an advantage? Right.
Deus Ex Machina pull cord.
So, D&D Beyond's only given me 6s tonight.
Oof. Okay, so...
Do we still have one birthday advantage?
No.
No, we use them all.
No, so a giant
Nobody else
piece
had a
of
birthday.
fabric shoots out from behind, and it's like attached to a couple of pieces of like hard, like that would be like a sail on a boat, right? And you're thinking, oh yeah, that makes sense. Kind of capture, maybe harness the wind somehow and go faster. Not really sure how that would work, but then it immediately hits the acid rain and just gets shredded, and then turns into like the worst thing in the world, like a giant parachute kind of behind you, like slowing the whole ship, now dragging it like through the spice. So now
Just
you're like,
what
really,
did you do? You did it wrong.
It didn't do it.
There is a hole formed above the hull, now completely above where you're sitting and where the supplies are, which is now like dripping down into the hull, and everything is getting like sizzly and starting to, kind of get damaged.
My wobble flowers! My wobble flowers!
I'll cut the wobble flowers loose. They don't do anything.
The trouble with
you,
Maybe
wobble.
it'll go faster.
There could be cheese in there.
So we have, for the purposes of this, we've failed the skills challenge, which now means that you have less supplies in this thing. Like eventually the acid rain stops, but you didn't kind of stop enough of the damage to save the supplies. So there are now crates and sacks and things which are completely useless to you. You yourselves have got little web burns and stuff all over your skin where you, as you were trying to save Bessie, got damaged yourself. So everybody take 10 points of damage as you your skin's all like boily.
I think we never
sore.
Healed up to full.
Have we?
You've had plenty of long rests.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was 3 hit points down.
There was
so
the
I'll-
restoration situation where we were damaged? No?
Oh, restoration. Yeah, no. You still don't have all of that back.
Yeah, Jaunty just sits quietly sobbing in his chair as the flight continues.
Oh.
Can I give him a wobble flower?
Can I give him a lozenge?
It's like a really sad, kind of slightly damaged wobble flower. Jaunty takes the wheel again and starts heading in a direction. You guys don't know where you're going, where the sky is. You know that there is a giant city somewhere in the sky called the sky, but you're not really sure which direction it is. So he could be flying to that, or he could be flying somewhere else. What do you guys do?
Well, I'm going to
Cry
jump
as
in
well.
with Granny, the sweetest Granny. What's wrong, little Jaunty? It's nothing that can't be fixed. It was just a little wobble in the sky. We will be all right. Would you like to cry some more on Granny's shoulder? And I just offer, comfort and validation.
I just don't know what I'll do with myself if I lose Bessie. She's
Still
been with
around.
me for years.
And she will be with you for years. You take such good care of her. I mean, such good care. And I really hope that something falls off at this very moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like a piece of the roof that was sort of just hanging on just crashes down behind. Yeah.
Damn.
You see?
I could have kicked that back into place.
Yeah.
Quietly.
I fear this might be a ship of Theseus at this point.
Yeah.
With how much it needs replacing or has been replaced.
Yeah,
My cousin Theseus.
You realize that Jaunty Tune has got the ship sort of directly pointing to it's like a small cloud, like he's about to kind of head straight into it, but all of a sudden he sort of pulls up alongside this cloud and kind of moves around, and like drawing closer to that, you realize that this cloud is in fact a small wispy hut nestled inside the clouds, like really hard to see. And you see waiting patiently just inside that doorway, kind of just over there as you're pulling up next to what looks kind of to be like a jetty, is a creature of the sky. Nearly indistinguishable from the air itself. It's composed of like swirling vapors, constantly shifting and flowing, completely translucent, giving the impression of being a living cloud. And its features appear to like come and go, so it's quite odd. You see a gleam where eyes would be, like the faint glow of first dawn, so you can kind of see where the face sort of is. And in moments where the air goes still, you see shoulders and arms and legs and that kind of thing take place, and then the wind picks up again and it's sort of a soft mass of swirl again. And this swirl sort of walks out over the jetty and reaches out a hand like as if for a rope. And then there's a soft, mournful sounding wail, like wind pushing through cracks in a doorway. And you realize it's saying something.
Yeah, and Jaunty replies to it with a similar sound, just as, oh.
And then there's he ties up the rope and sort of gestures and then walks off kind of into the doorway. Gesturing to follow.
Can I cast Comprehend Languages?
Yeah. Jaunty.
I do
And what Jaunty and Bardley now know is the creature said, "Oh, strangers, huh? Okay. Well, I mean, if you trust them, I guess you can bring them inside. But either way, bring the crates, I guess."
And Jaunty replied, just a couple of tourists. Oh, couple of harmless tourists.
Yeah. And he just kind of walked inside the hut.
Can Dexter nudge Bardley and say, now that's how you make a heart. Let's go.
Yeah, well, that one isn't moving.
I know, talking mad smack for a nat one, but...
I want to
Dexter
like
don't know that.
cautiously step out onto the cloud, like I'm scared I'm going to fall through it.
Oh, don't worry. You're perfectly safe up here. This is a smuggler's pillow. Very common stop for flyers like me.
Oh, so it's not the sky?
No, we just had to make a bit of a stop first.
Well, let's explore, everyone.
Is there snacks?
Well, it depends. Do you eat moisture and birds?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Maybe?
Chicken.
Catch a bird.
I more drink moisture, but I do eat birds, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, have fun.
And with that, Jaunty picks up a crate and a sack and walks into. It's really up to you guys what you do, if you grab stuff and follow or...
I mean, obviously
Yeah.
I'm hunting some birds.
I'd like to intimate that at the beginning of this adventure, I rolled a d6 to myself, saying 6 would be that I'm really comfortable with the heights, and 1 would be terrified, and I rolled a 6. So I am now basically a bird myself.
Yeah, you're
So
chill up here.
I'm gonna freaking jump over to that little cloud, and I'm gonna like jump around and try and
Yeah, nice. It is a fairly small cloud. Like, what you see is basically just a little jetty, a small area out the front, and then a door to what looks to be a small hut. Yeah.
Jaunty notices how confidently Granny got out and like made herself at home, and just looks back and then just says, "You're doing great, love."
Oh, thank you. It's like my second home. Come on, let's have a jump around together if you wish.
Oh, it's that kind of flight, is it? All right, let me just do some work and then we'll get to work. And he goes inside the hut.
Granny's
Dexter's-
oblivious to the innuendo.
Dexter's going to grab a crate and make eye contact with no one. While he hears this interaction.
Yeah, and just like carefully make eye contact with no one and walk in.
Very decidedly, just head down.
So while Granny's leaping around outside, Bardley's trying to catch birds, what's Taryn up to?
I think Taryn's gonna sadly pull in the parachute mechanism that didn't work and just kind of fold it to the side.
Yeah,
Sort
it's
of
got like broken
head it down
bits
for
of
later.
timber and
Feeling a
it's-
bit guilty that it didn't work, even though it was a prototype, and she's like, feeling like really bad, thinking that she just broke the entire thing,
yeah,
folding it up just to fix later,
nice.
and we'll kind
Okay.
of just jump off the side.
Yeah. So Dexter, as you walk in behind Jaunty into this hut, the atmosphere in here is like cool and refreshing. It's full of the scent of rain. It's like a weird sound that reminds you of like a rumble of thunder kind of in here. And the hut looks a lot bigger than it actually appeared on the outside. Not because of like TARDIS kind of magical properties, but just because of the way it's been cleverly built inside this cloud to kind of hide the size of the hut that actually is here. You see in this initial room that there are many beds that line the walls inside this room, and the creature that you followed in here walks among them, fussing over the various creatures that lie or sit atop these beds. It gestures at the two of you to keep walking, and then you see that there is like a small storage room with various bits and pieces on shelves and crates and sacks waiting to be unpacked.
Dexter's going to put the crate down, but make it seem like it was a lot of effort and just kind of wipe his brow. Just, that was so difficult, just helping you guys out of the kindness of my own heart. Not asking for anything in return, but just, just a lot of lifting.
You think maybe you see some kind of expression on this creature's face. If you're interested in that, you can roll insight. It's very hard to judge what is happening on this face.
Now that he's in the hut. Now that he's in the hut, Dexter's going to start making eye contact with people again. And then inside though, that's a 15.
Okay.
Where were you before on the skills challenge?
Yeah, okay. You think you saw maybe like the sky equivalent of an eye roll, but instead of like, like eyes that kind of roll up, it's like eyes bounced around completely in his head and circled and then came back to settle somewhere near.
Is it like the old D&D logo? D&D, the DVD bouncy logo?
Yeah, like,
I was imagining like a loading icon.
Does it go to the corner?
yeah.
Wheelchair when it hits the corner.
And then you see the creature walk over to Jaunty and hand like a bag that clinks and says, ooh, to, Jaunty. And then in common for like, very haltingly and short, just thank you.
And then Jaunty said, so what Bardley would understand is like, we we got up here just fine, had a bit of a rough time, and he's like miming like a very like bumpy, turbulent ride.
Yeah, and what he had said back to you before he said like thank you, he said yes, it's getting worse. I don't know what causes it, and I'm so glad that you're still flying.
We lost a lot of the flowers on the way due to and then he again mimes the turbulence.
Yeah. And Larson, because that you would know that that's this creature's name, Larson. Larson sort of, kind of gives like an airy shrug, like, just kind of acknowledging the situation, and does sort of look a little bit, you see him look around the room and look a little hopeless, a little forlorn, and then turn back and, which is just like, we do what we can.
Yeah, I try to tap it on the shoulder, but A, I'm a goblin, so I'm only 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And B, it's not very corporeal, so it's a very awkward gesture.
Yeah. But he acknowledges it, and you think, Jaunty, you're pretty sure, having dealt with these creatures a while now, that seemed like a warm kind of response to you, like a warm reply. Yeah. But then you sort of feel dismissed as this creature goes back over to some of the other creatures and sort of like to these little, and you like kind of replies, like, and goes around the room and is checking in on these things.
All right, land folks, should we get back to the skies? I think our business here's done.
So long as the skies don't attack us again, I'm happy.
Is that normal, Jaunty? Because we've seen something very similar in the water, and I just feel like maybe it's following us.
Definitely nothing I've experienced before. I've been on a lot of adventures with Bessie. We've been high in the sky, we've been between mountains, we've been all over this world, this crazy world, and I've never seen anything like that.
Well, see, we've seen this 2 times already. It just seems like might not be a coincidence.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave you guys here, and I'm going to...
Right. Don't associate us with that.
Maybe you can catch one of those big enough bird to get you off this cloud.
Speaking of catching birds...
We have an arrangement, okay? We're coming with you whether you like it or not, and
Bardley, do me a dex save to see if you caught any birds as they were flying past you.
Or sleight of hand.
Oh.
Yeah, or sleight of hand. Sleight of hand or dex save, because they'd just be flying at you, so...
I'll do a sleight of hand.
Sorry to backseat DM there, Jules.
No, you're right.
Jayne?
15.
Where were you? Skill check?
I was going to say, I did set the DC for this episode as 15 mostly, so there we go. You managed to, Bardley appears with a bird. Granny has been happily bouncing around this cloud, but is walking back on. Taryn is finished folding the various pieces back together again. And Dexter, have you followed Jaunty back out, or have you stayed in this room, or what were you doing?
He might stay in the room and go up to the person that Jaunty was talking to. Mm-hmm. Let's be like, hello, sorry I don't know your language, but you seem to speak a little bit of common.
It kind of obviously tilts its head at you like, I'm listening, but it doesn't say anything.
So we had a bad rain time. I'm still processing it emotionally. Does that happen a lot? Has that been happening a lot?
He makes odd noises at you, and then you see him pause and then go, more.
Isn't it's been happening more, or you need more details from me?
And he gestures to mean the first one.
When did it start? How long ago?
And he kind of throws up his hands it doesn't have the words for that, but says to you
I know, I'm sorry.
It makes himself really solid for a moment, and you see his hand, and he gestures to his hand, pay attention to this, and then he pushes the hand down something is lowering, and then kind of says to you, lower.
A lower amount of time?
Yeah, he shrugs.
Telling you to go to Lower Hut.
Yeah. But he pats you, and
that's lower.
he does say, "Sky's safe. Sky's safe." Safe.
Okay.
You safe.
Okay. You're good? You're good? You're okay?
Good. Yes, good. And then says,
Bye.
you know, kind of like, and waves. Yeah.
Dexter's gonna try to mimic that kind of back.
Yeah.
Oh.
What did you call my mother?
yeah.
How dare you,
Yeah.
sir?
So, and as you wander out, you see everybody boarding the flywag, getting ready to head out once more. Jaunty has announced to everybody we're going to Sky. You know, like Sky is next stop.
He does he's got a bit of a joke now that things have lightened up a little bit. He's like, attention passengers, in the event of an emergency, just don't pull any levers or ripcords or actually no, I'll tell you what.
Very bad.
Tell you what, there is
Now you
one
tell
other.
us.
There is one other experimental apparatus that is on board this this fine vessel. You can pull that one if you want, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, that is too tempting.
Don't do it.
Wow.
Don't do it. Don't fall into the trap.
I like that things have lightened up now we've lost so much cargo.
Yeah.
Hey.
That is true. The flywag Bessie does feel lighter and moves more freely as some of the cargo has been offloaded. You realize that other air creatures came back for crates and they seemed to know what they were picking up. So they took a bunch more off the ship as well.
We've lost cargo but gained one bird.
Yeah. While you have Jaunty, is there any questions that you have about where you're going that you want to know?
What is good, sky etiquette or manners?
Yeah,
because something I
we
found
need to know
is
that
when
for
we went,
sure.
When we went down to the sea, there were a lot
We're
of
not good at
strange customs your boy wasn't used to.
Even on land, they got weirdly angry at us for the weirdest things.
I found out that land people use spoons in all of their armies, so that was pretty new for me.
Yep, all of them. That's what I told you.
Well, I have to say, I haven't actually spent all that much time in the City of Sky. Usually I'm just spending all my time going back and forth between land and sea and sky. But on my time there, the golden rule is that everybody who lives there, they all think they're better than land folk. So just play into that, all right? If they get all on you like, hey, I'm better than you and you're lowly folk, just go with it. Don't
Dirty
be
little
offended.
land dweller.
Exactly.
How do they feel about water people?
Tell you what, don't know.
We'll find out.
Fair.
Is there a way to greet them? Like, is there a customary greeting or
Handshake?
Or
Do not wave. Do not wave ever. It's a
I'm so
very
glad we
rude
asked
gesture.
that.
It's a very rude gesture if you wave.
If Dexter realizes he just waved as he left.
Dexter's just looking very, bashful. Just like, "Oh."
Back there at Smuggler's Pillow, they will be talking about that for weeks. Who was that guy?
I can never return. I can't
That's
go back.
their version of the bird. Flipping them the bird.
So the
This is,
greeting is to catch a bird and wave with the bird in your grasp. Is that
What is
right?
what is
That's
the
what I
greeting
think.
if not waving?
The greeting
Yeah.
is to put your hand on your head. Just any way you can. Just hand
Can
on
I
head.
roll insight on this?
See if this is just nonsense.
I will roll insight.
As you're staring at Jaunty being like, is he messing with us?
I'm going to use enhanceability to this one because I rolled terribly.
Dexter would give you guidance since he messed up with the
Okay.
wave. I think he's motivated to try to help.
How
you
does
know what
guidance
you
work?
should
Do you
do.
add some or am I advantage?
Add 1d4.
1d4. Okay, so I have 11 plus 8, that's 19 plus 1d4. Where is d4? Okay.
Jaunty, do you want to roll
That's 20.
if you are deceiving them, you more than welcome to roll a deception roll against that, or how do you want to do that?
No, he's telling what he thinks is the truth.
Oh no.
Great.
Well, with a
Wonderful.
20.
Also, it is worth mentioning, Bardley, that although you understood what was being said, you didn't know what it was.
Like what language was that?
Yeah, you have no idea.
That's what I ask. What language was that?
Oh, back there? Oh, speaking Orin. I mean, I'm not a native speaker myself, but I've picked up a little bit here and there, enough to get by.
Nice. It's very musical. I like it.
Similar to Arkwin in that sort of like pronunciation of stuff, but like could I infer kind of like if I was speaking French, you could infer a little bit?
Like yeah, like the elongated vowels of like are very similar to like a water elemental type language, but air is sort of loftier and a little like sort of wispier in the way that it's said, which means that it's, did they just say,
like you say more of your head voice than your chest voice.
London, know, like you wouldn't know. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you're kind of like having a chat about the different customs that, Jaunty's sharing some knowledge with you as you suddenly break through the thick billowing clouds that have been around you, as you've been busting through and moving and things, and a blinding light fills the sky. Jaunty continues to guide the craft with deft hands, pointing it sort of nose downwards for the first time of the travel. And you gather in the window behind him to stare at this gorgeous sight in front of you. Below, the city called the Sky unfolds, a breathtaking metropolis hidden far above the continent of Isen. The city seems to float upon a giant sprawling cloud. The buildings and the streets are constructed from eerie translucent materials that shimmers like diamonds in sunlight. Some of them are as clear as glass, revealing intricate designs. And you see now the denizens of this place, of this aerial wonderland. You see strolling in the streets or flying above the towns, twirling on the winds. They seem to be a mix of creatures made from cloud, air, wind, like little tornadoes moving around the place. And then you see so many different types of winged creatures, some of them humanoid, some of them more bestial in features. And these humanoid figures, they range from looking like angelic, gorgeous beings with ethereal wings to like more avian, like literally looking like a humanoid bird, so you kind of have everything in between and all manners of plumage and things in front of you. It's almost sort of overwhelming with how much is up here that you had no idea even existed.
Oh, yum.
There's my friend Christopher.
Christopher swims, flies a lot closer, does a loop-de-loop, and then takes off again.
No, seems like a bit of a show-off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
cool.
I've seen you. He didn't greet you with the hand on the head, so he can't have seen you.
Yeah.
I would like to observe whether anyone is doing the hand on the head. I still
We need to verify this.
Slightly hard to see, but you could swear that Christopher put a wing near a head situation, so,
Yeah. He was flying, so it had to be a brief tap.
like very brief, yeah. But you can see now that there is like a big old dock jetty, like very similar to what you'd see in a port, town and water down Port Bullis, for instance, but in the air. And there are other flywags that are kind of parked up in and around these jetties. And that's where you're headed. Very bustling market towns and buildings sprawl out from that. But then towards the middle, there's like a wall, a big, thick, tall, like glistening wall that you can see around the heart of the place, which is, it seems to be a towering palace in the middle of this city. Yeah. So as you kind of pull into the ports and park up, how do you park? Like, Johnny, like, where are you parking? On the outskirts? Are you on the inskirts? Like, are you in or out in this town? Like, You got a regular?
It's a smuggler park.
Yeah.
I think a roll should decide that.
Yeah, okay. So we'll like roll for like popularity or like, charismatically.
Okay, so just a straight up charisma check?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. That's a unnatural 20.
Nice. Okay. So I think
on the palace.
Pretty popular here. Maybe people sort of know what you do, give it a blind eye, but they like you, so you're pulling in and there's people greeting you all over the place and a couple of people coming up to see you, excited to see you, a little bit of fist bump, kind of action going on. People saying, see you at the pub later, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I make a show of putting my hand on my head in the direction of every single person who sort of greets me or makes eye contact.
Yeah. And like there's a few doing it back.
There's like, Jaunty's back, everyone. Jaunty's back.
Yeah.
Jaunty in the house.
Me.
Yeah. Sidebars. What are you up to?
Dex is gonna clamber down and then just not necessarily under his breath sarcastically say, but kind of to the sidebars, be like, let me guess, we're going to go up to the palace, we're going to tell whoever's in charge that there's a problem, they're going to be like, what? There's no problem, and we've got to try to prove it. I already know how this is going to go.
Sounds
I'm not on
exactly
land
right
and I'm grumpy. I'm in the air and I'm upset about it.
Who's paying Jaunty, by the way?
What? Granny has the money. Granny has always been the only person that carries the money.
Granny,
Can
pay the
anyone
man.
remind me how much the ride was?
Yeah, I didn't say.
I don't think we talked about it.
What is he going to do?
We just
Drop
hopped
us
on.
back? this weather?
Granny,
All right, Mr. Jaunty.
Granny starts to reach for her pouch, her purse, and Jaunty puts out a hand to stop her and just says, "No, love, you already paid for your ride with that beautiful smile."
Oh.
I want to check whether my pouch is still there.
Chat, is this W Riz?
I now hate
I'm like,
Jaunty.
I'm flattered, but also
Is Granny
he
blushing?
pickpocketing me right now?
No, you can see both his hands. One of them,
nice.
one of his hands repeatedly goes to his head as different people walk past or fly past.
Do they reciprocate?
Yeah, you're saying reciprocation.
Okay,
Some do.
fine. I may be
Most
do, not
persuaded
all
this is
of them.
real. Oh, Jaunty, well, that's so sweet. Here, have some special piece of Bob the sourdough that I carry around. Do you have an oven on Bessie?
He looks back at her steaming hull. He's like, I think right now she is an oven.
Oh,
Great.
sweet.
I whip
and
out
I
the
proceed
bird.
to tell him how to make sourdough.
I whip out the
Bessie.
bird and I start unfeathering it and cooking it.
This
You
is
can't
going to be
do
like,
that up here.
Actually, how do the populace
I don't wave.
Yeah. There is a very strict-looking man in white and gold uniform. It looks like he is marching in this direction with his white, very bright wings sort of fluttering and indignant as he's strolling towards you.
Put the bird away, put the bird away, put the bird away, put the bird away.
Can Dexter try to intervene?
I eat the
intercept
bird.
us?
Some good.
Dexter's going to tap a hand to his head like, hello, sir, how are you?
So anyway, so this man is strolling towards you and says to you all, "Tourists, I hope you've got passports."
I use my beautiful
We
smile.
passed a few ports. We passed a few ports on our way here. Port Bells.
I step up to him, being all like Mr. Brave guy who's done this before. And although, he's a tall person, like a not regular sized, like human sized person.
Very tall,
Not,
yeah.
not goblin.
And I'm very much not. But I try to do
If you
like
want,
a
I can
almost-
go down on my hands and knees and you can step up on top of me. to
Oh,
get
yes,
I
it.
can give you a boost.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I do that.
I step up on Bardley's back, and then I do almost like I'm trying to do a Jedi mind trick, where I put my hand on my head, like as close to his face as I can, and just say, "You don't need to see our passports."
Roll persuasion.
Finally, Brad squared. It's happening.
We stacked a Brad on a...
We did it.
Nat 20.
He goes, "You're right, these aren't the tourists I'm looking for. You there! Flywag!"
There's someone loitering.
Jaunty turned back and is like, "That's never worked before."
I think I helped.
I think it was...
It's all
as
about
you-
height with these things.
You see him walking off as he's pointing to another flywag, and you realize he was holding a piece of paper at his side that he was kind of like a wanted poster. As you catch a glimpse of this poster as he turns to the other flywag that's just pulling in, you see it's hard to see an exact resemblance with a air creature or a cloudy creature, but you could swear that's the creature you just met on Smuggler's Pillow. And that's the end of the
episode.
Honestly,
Not
I'm
me
just
being
glad that it
used
wasn't
half of
us.
it.
It wasn't our wanted poster.
Right. Hot minute I thought
Fly
it
for a
was.
little bit.
Yep. What are the Sky Kingdom looking for your little friend lesson for. I guess we'll have to come back and find out.
Stick
What
around and
illegal
find
thing could a
out.
smuggler do?
What?
He hides in a hat
can't
in
wait.
the sky and smuggles things. I
You're
wonder.
looking after sick people.
Thank you so
can't
much
wait to
for
find out what the flowers
joining us on our adventure today. We are so glad you chose to join us, and we really hope that we will see you again. If you're listening to this podcast on the podcast app of your choice, maybe come along to the live stream to catch the action directly as it happens. We stream every second Wednesday at 7:30 NZDT. And we would love to see you there. I don't know why T was really hard to say just then.
NZD.
And that's the tea.
Many amazing people are involved with the production of this podcast, and I'm incredibly grateful for their hard work and dedication every single episode. So I want to give a big shout out to my partner in crime, Brad Zimmerman, who is actually here today. And it's really, really cool to have him on the episode, not just being the editor of the polished episodes you hear and responsible for the entire design of World of Isen and Book 1. So thank you very much, Brad. It's been a real treat to have you here today. We are proud members of Kiwi RPG, and we encourage you to visit their website to find other Kiwi creators like Brad with Detail Go that you need to know about. And of course, this podcast would not be able to keep going without our Patreons who keep the lights on in Isen HQ and make the Fate of Isen Discord a delightful home on the internet. And only just now I'm realizing I didn't do the thing where I make sure that the members haven't changed their names, because I swear that every single one of them said that they were going to change their name to make it the longest names of ever, apparently.
No.
Is that
Why
a
don't you
thing,
make one
Brad?
of the
Did you
players say it?
see if they had done that or not? Or
I can log in now. Why don't we make one of the players
hang on.
say the list?
I'm logging in. Okay, yeah, I think there are some names that have changed. So let's
We
just
can all
read
say a
them
name
straight from
each.
Patreon. Okay. It'd be hard. I don't know how to share this with you. Okay. Alex White Robinson, Irene Kuji, Laura Christine Goodwin, Sam, and Human Grunt 37, which is what it is on Patreon. So, you know, Kay, Victoria and Gavin Porter, Daniel Nichols, Squish, Malcolm Crow is dead for most of the Sixth Sense. Squished! How could you? Alexandra Leckite, Andrew, I don't think you could write a book in here, but perhaps an epic poem or saga of some sort. Evans, Chaos the Fox, Ezekiel Taraborelli, the Gamatron, Christian Holswood, Disturbed NZ, sometimes Marlock, occasionally Dinglefloof, but always the human servant of the real life, Win of the Forgotten, Lyndon Hood, Peter Gertrude Chalk. You do not hijack my Patreon shout out to wind up Jules. Erika Jane, Penny D. Toys, Aaron Gilgren, Moji, Torji Barkai, Danielle the Tea Lady, Lady of the Tea, and Liz from Time to Die, a D&D podcast. Wow, you guys are like mean, but also kind of fabulous, and I love everything
Kind of
about our
funny.
Fadies. They're amazing. Yeah, and you too can be a Fadie for as little as $2 a month. Join the exclusive Discord, become one of the many fans I now consider friends, and sometimes come to my house for things, which is kind of cool. And before I go, I
It's
wanted
such a
to
weird
remind
name that
you.
makes it really hard for Jules to say the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
I think put a tongue twister in there.
Before you go, I wanted to remind you, if you have a hankering for more dice in your life, you head on over to our partners, fanrolldice.com, and use the promo code Fate of Isen, and you can get 10% off your entire order, a little discount on us because we love you. I want to say inohora, ka kite ano, and aroha nui. Goodbye. We will see you again soon, and we love you loads. Bye, everybody.
Call your parents.
Don't
Call them.
call Severin.
Call your parents right now.
Get
Don't call
enough sleep
Severin.
while you can, everyone. Do
Tell
it.
them they love you.
I'm scared.